Well, hey there. Welcome back to the People Gardener podcast. Happy to have you here this week. Confession. I had no intention of sticking with the AI theme, but I tell you, I went down a rabbit hole on YouTube because I really wanted to understand how to customize a bot. And I kept on hearing all of this, machine learning or teaching the bot and all this language that's totally new to me. That seemed like the story of my life for the last 8 years since I was exited out of corporate, learning all of this new stuff. And as I'm sure all of you know, technology, it changes every single minute of every single day. So trying to catch up on what a lot of this does and what it means. And I got thinking about a small business owner. Okay, so how do you use this inside your business and then also for outside your business for your marketing, could be your emails, your sales emails, that kind of thing. So I went down a rabbit hole, and I will include 2 videos that I found really, really helpful in the description. If you're not on my email list, get on it. Go to rhondadelaney.com, and there's a place that you can subscribe on that page because I often include links, things that I feel you'll find helpful. So I narrowed it down. Actually, my focus was the hiring process because I knew that was the time-consuming thing. It's very important. Like, you don't want to shortcut that process, but you definitely could use some help in making it not quite so laborious. In corporate, during the busy season, we would have an extra 100 people that would have to be hired. And I was involved in a lot of that. And so you're getting bleary-eyed reading the resumes, and then they all start looking the same. And back then, I mean, that was 8 years ago, there were a lot of people concerned that some machine was just scanning and spitting out good people, but for a bad reason. What just really intrigued me, especially with this one gal that I will show you, she is actually helping you to learn how to customize, do a custom GPT. Now that is only available on their paid version. She said that it was about $20 a month. I didn't check the date on her video, but I mean, it would be somewhere in and around that. So you have this option. But what intrigued me is you as the business owner or the person that is doing the hiring, and oftentimes it is you. You might have 3, 5, 10 employees and you're the one that does the hiring. What she was showing is that anything that you have that pertains to the job, the personality that would be best suited for that job, the skill sets that are required for that job, personality that would work well with the other people that you have in your company. And let's face it, lots of companies have people do personality profiles and we can figure out how to work together. Well, if you have all of those, that's something else that you can input into this custom GPT, let's call it. So when you think about all of the resumes that come in, putting those resumes into this custom bot, it scans, the resume comes in a PDF, you put the PDF into the bot, and it scans that information, and then you have a prompt, and you're telling the bot what to do with the resume information by using the knowledge that you've already given it about what you're looking for, what the description of the job is, what are skills that are required, all of that background information. And it sits in this bot, and you update it as you are changing things within your own business. But then it's going to come back with a result. You've told it what you're looking for in the ultimate employee, and it's going to go through the resume, and it's going to go back and compare what the resume says this person has versus what you're asking someone to have in order to be employed with your company. So if you're doing a lot of hiring, wow, definitely can help. Now, I think that it would be really prudent to continually enhance and tweak your bot and make sure that it actually is coming back with correct information and reasonable information. Because the thing is, the bot itself is what you've told it is in this scenario, because you're asking it to cover the information that you've given it. And that might be your website. It might be your training material for this particular job that you're hiring for. It could be your company's, your employee handbook, lots of detailed information. But that's the information that it has, and that's what it's referencing when it's looking at this resume. Now, the interesting thing is, I think in both of the platforms that I was checking out, there is the option to go to the web as well. But it's kind of neat just to be able to put your world in this bot so that all of the things that are important to you as the business owner are being addressed when you're checking somebody's resume. So that was a video, and that was the ChatGPT. And then there's another company called Coze. It's C-O-Z-E, or for my Canadian phrase, Z. That's how I grew up. The last letter of the alphabet was Z. They use in the background ChatGPT 4. This is a free platform. So you go in and you basically do exactly the same thing. They allow you to, put in PDFs. You can put in all the different URLs. And again, you are creating, in essence, an assistant that is going to do the heavy lifting for you and is going to spit out a response with regards to each person whose resume you put in. And it's done within seconds. I didn't test, and I probably should have, make up some fake resumes, but I'm sure that you could put in there a scoring system that makes sense for you, and then you can make sure that the bot understands that's one of its roles, is that it needs to score these resumes. Yeah, it is freaking amazing what is out there. And like I say, I went down a rabbit hole. It needs to go further and further and further. I'm really excited in using the bots in my business as far as marketing, helping me with emails, helping me with information. And now I'm planning on using it to come up with all sorts of questions that you small business owners have about leadership and about culture building, and start answering those questions and getting them out there. So instead of this blank page, which I talked about last week in the podcast, you're much further ahead. The bot is helping you not to have that blank page. And when I think about the hours that I spent going through resumes, it's not that you don't want to get the information, but you got to figure out an efficient way to get to it. Because if a skill is an absolute requirement, then any resume that comes in that doesn't have that skill, it needs to be moved aside, and it needs to be moved aside quickly. This old girl is learning some new things, so it's a good day. I will absolutely put both of those videos and really encourage you to watch them because both of the people have a different delivery style, but both very simple and straightforward to follow. I would love to hear if you do some custom GPTs, some custom bots, and how you're using it, what you're using it for. This one gal, she has all these internal bots doing all sorts of things for the business. So have fun looking into bots, and we'll talk to you again next week.